Roy Lee,
Yep.
welcome to Sourcery. I just want to congratulate you on this big funding announcement.
Right now, revenue timelines are so compressed. If you don't believe that you yourself can get to 100 mil ARR in the next year, you don't have the to do it. Ever worried about the next round? Think about your current company. You need more money right now. Bro, these rounds are closing in hours. Virality, really important, but it means nothing if you can't do it consistently. There is no work-life balance. Your entire life is Cluey, and your entire work is Cluey.
Roller coaster of an answer,
Yep.
But we love that. Founder mode.
Me versus Elon versus Sam, and we're all going to be competing for the title of Conqueror of the Universe.
So, Roy.
Yep.
We're here for some big news.
Yeah.
You just raised a big next round.
Yeah, we did.
Who did you raise from and how much was it?
We did 15 mil led by Andreessen. The big round.
How did you get to work with them? What was the process there?
Moved to California, and within a week or two, the guys just pulled up the office, one at Font, and they just kept it and just asked, they do not have the money for fixing the money, and just happened. I think being is sort of the way that you have to. The only way you will get significant outfits in pod companies right now is by grant.
We're going to have a lot to talk about
Yep.
in this whole, let's start with this, but I can't wait to understand the line in which your investors feel comfortable investing in a company like yours that's constantly going after stunts.
Yeah. I think the actual bet is on our ability to distribute, which I think everyone has no doubt in. Truly, I think everyone recognizes that I have the ability to get a lot of eyeballs onto Cluey.com. The only thing that people are worried about is, can he build enough trust to actually build a sustainable company underneath? But if the core bet is that distribution is the most important thing, then obviously we're the best distributing tech startup in the world right now, at least in the early stage. And I think this is the actual bet that's being made. Distribution is going to end up being more important than anything. Technology can work backwards, but if you don't have distribution, you don't have a sustainable business.
Have you gotten any pushback from the investors on some of your things yet?
A hair, but generally they only invested in me because they knew that I would do crazy shit a lot of it, and they believed in the ability for that to convert.
I think Sourcery was the first one to break your viral launch. I saw this trickling throughout media days after. It's actually insane how slow legacy media is.
Yeah.
It's insane. But right after, the day after, I posted in Sourcery Cluey's mega viral launch, and it had about 7 million views at the time.
Yeah.
Since then, I think you've doubled or maybe tripled that.
Something like that, yeah.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah, I mean, I was not expecting it to go that viral. I had my hopes for 2 to 3 million impressions. To be honest, literally the hour before we launched, we were heavily debating, do we even launch? Should we just push it back because we weren't happy with the editing? But I think everything is just a lesson of just fuck it, swing big.
What are your general frameworks for fundraising? How do you think about it?
Yeah, I think on the founder front right now, I think if ever you're worried about a down round or not being able to raise more in the future, or you're ever worried about, I'm not going to raise as much this time so I can raise more next round, I think you're making the wrong decision. Right now, revenue timelines are so compressed. If you don't believe that you yourself can get to 100 mil ARR in the next year, then you should just don't fucking build a company because you don't have the balls to do it. I think you need to swing big at every moment. You don't know where your company's going to be in 3 months. And if you are meant to make it and your product is good, then you will be somewhere crazy in 3 months. And if you're ever worried about the next round, bro, think about your current round. Think about your current company. You need more money right now. Just swing big. And I think on the investor front, there's nothing that pisses me off more than when some investor wants to talk to me, they send me an email yo, I'm trying to talk, and then they fucking loop in their assistant to schedule some time. Bro, these rounds are closing in hours. It's not you don't have 2 weeks to schedule some time. If you want to talk to the hottest guy or you want to talk to the hottest startup, then you need to fucking book time ASAP, and it needs to be you. There's nothing that turns I can if you've done this, you're probably not getting any allocation because you've ticked me off because you've just told me I do not find you important enough. I need my assistant from the fucking Philippines to schedule a time with you because I don't have the you're not high enough on my priority list. Okay, bet. You're not getting allocation. The round closed 2 hours ago, and yeah. I think investors need to move faster. There's some people who have expressed discontent at not being able to get into hotter rounds. It's bro, you should have moved faster.
Okay, wow.
That's my thoughts on fundraising.
Roller coaster of an answer.
Yep.
But we love that. Founder mode. In terms of fundraising in general, you started the company at Columbia.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you get the idea to come to Silicon Valley and actually pursue this full time?
It was sort of like I burned every other bridge except building a company. Like it all started with me going to Columbia, deciding I'm gonna go build a company. Like the first day I came there during orientation week, I was asking every smart looking fucker I saw, like, hey, do you want to build a company with me? Do you want to build a company with me? And out of maybe like 50 people, there's really only one person that said yes. And that was Neil, who's my current co-founder. And we started hacking on a bunch of things, and like just nothing was working. Like I was here at Founders Inc. like a couple months back, and we were working on this AI sales agent for liquor distributors, and it was like the most bullshit like YC B2B talk to your customers idea. Like it was so stupid. I had nothing to do with it. It had nothing to do with me as a founder. Just wasn't working, and the only thing that ever worked was this really shitty LinkedIn demo we made one day that had 600,000 views, and it was for a tool called Interview Coder. And like the second it went viral, like it sort of captured my heart. But it was like the most dangerous. Like this is like the cheating tool. We sort of saw the vision for the marketing. We knew if we use this for a bunch of Amazon like FANG interviews and got the offer, then this will go super viral. But we didn't have the balls to do it. Until everything stopped working, and at a certain point, I'm sitting there with like a 2.3 GPA, my counselor's on my ass, and I'm like, okay, you know what, like let's go revisit the one thing that made me excited. That was Interview Coder. So I doubled down, I did all the marketing shit that I planned on doing, and it went super viral. And after a certain point, I mean, I built this cheating tool. I get kicked out of school. I get blacklisted from Amazon. Like, what can I do but fucking raise around and go to California? Like, I burned every other bridge except this, and now this is like the one path that's left for me.
The dream.
Bro, it's like the sickest path in the world. Yes, like who doesn't want to be out there building companies? Yeah, I think if you're like saving your, I don't know, like saving your time, hoping like, oh, maybe I'll get acquired, or like maybe I'll go work at big tech one day. Like, bro, just quit, bro, just quit.
Were you at all considering working in big tech?
Not for the past, I want to say maybe like year and a half.
Okay, and you're how old now?
I'm 21.
You're okay.
Like 21 in 9 months. So I have like 3 months left before I'm the same age as the more core guys.
So you're not 21?
I am 21.
Oh.
21 in
9 months.
And 9 months.
Okay, I got it. Do you feel pressure in this cohort of like young founders that are unlocking like AI growth? Like, I mean, what is the scenario there? Because like even in your fundraising, experience, you're talking like, I've got so much demand. Like, why aren't people responding faster? Like, what is the actual experience on the ground as like one of these really young AI companies?
I mean, of course, like I look at the cursor guys, like Michael, like, damn, this guy's killing it. I look at the more core guys, Brendan is killing it, and I'm extremely competitive. It's the reason why I'm building companies. And when I see them, my age, just a little bit older than me, and they're doing like bigger things than me, it just like gets that dog in me riled up. I need to see myself at the top. My ultimate dream, and I think this is almost inevitably going to happen, is all companies will converge into 1, 2, maybe 3 super companies, and end of the line in maybe 50 years, it'll be me versus Elon versus Sam, and we're all going to be competing for the title of Conqueror of the Universe. And if I get there, like it starts with me beating all the other kids my age. So of course I feel competitive.
Right. And going back into Cluey, like I want to go deep. I really want to understand the product and what you're building. So could you just share what Cluey is? Yeah.
Cluey is a desktop app that shows up as a translucent screen overlay. It sees your screen and it hears your audio. So it's given a lot more context than, say, ChatGPT.com. It's built on the thesis that the models will get multimodal one day. And when you have super intelligence and you trap it inside a chatbot, it's fundamentally extremely limiting. How many times a day do you screenshot something, paste it in ChatGPT, and then ask about it? Like a lot. So much to the point where you shouldn't actually have to do that. Like the chatbot is obviously the wrong interface. What is the correct interface? I think Apple is exploring, like every single smart glass company, Apple, like they're exploring the idea of AI integrated in your life. And what this looks like for them is like liquid glass, like a translucent overlay. I think everybody's approaching this and understands that this is the UX of the future. It's just a land grab to see who can capture it first.
But why is that the UX of the future?
The you don't want a separate app because AI should not feel like a separate window. It's not a separate window. It should feel like a seamless integration into everything you're doing. It should feel like an overlay. It should work. You shouldn't have to go to your workflow, go to another AI app, and then go back to your workflow. This is the exact problem that Cursor solved, and they ended up making like billions and billions of dollars. Like what you want to do is you want to have AI integrated inside your workflow, not just one workflow, but every workflow. And it is inevitable that the models will get intelligent enough to do this. When they do, like what does it actually look like to have a seamless integrated AI? I think right now we're the closest UX out there.
When you first launched, you launched as cheat on everything.
Of course.
Is the language still the same for that?
Yeah. I mean, this is the ultimate cheating tool. Like, this is a significant productivity unlock to the point where it feels like cheating. And still, we are the tool that lets you use AI without anybody else knowing. We're still invisible to screen share. We still have all our undetectability features. And this is like this is a societal change that we're promoting here. Everyone is going to feel like people using AI are cheating. Like, already teachers are out there saying like, yo, you can't use AI on your essays, you can't use AI on your assignments. They think it's cheating because it's in reality, like, leverages you to do so much more than what you previously could. And as a result, every assignment, exam, quiz structure is pretty much outdated. And as a result, let's just ban it because it's cheating. Like, bro, like obviously this is in the future. We all need to get with the time and embrace it. And I think cheat on everything is like it's sort of a marketing stunt, but it's sort of real. This is how the world is going to look at it. And if it's inevitable, they will see us as the cheating tool. Until they don't, then we should just fucking embrace it and use it for the marketing benefits that it provides.
What are the most popular use cases?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of people are using this in interviews, but the actual ability
Are you using it right now?
Me? Well, I'm here in person with you, so I don't have a computer. But if I did, yes, I'd be using it right now. The key thing that this lets you do, that pretty much no other tool in the market lets you do, is have AI running an interview or a meeting and command enter, and it'll just feed you information that it thinks you should know. The core technology is pretty akin to just give it the transcript of the meeting and have AI ask it like, what is the information that this person needs at this time? And this is something that pretty much no other tool on the market lets you do. So if I'm doing a sales call with you, I'm trying to sell a product, you ask me something, and I'm a non-technical sales rep, so I have no idea what the fuck a rate limit is. Just command enter, and it'll just tell me tell me every technical concept term that I need to know. If you're ever asking me a question, let's say this was virtual and I did have my computer open. Every single question you ask me, I would just command enter and it would just tell me what to say.
The design is actually quite good.
Thank you.
I complimented you on this earlier, and the liquid glass is actually pretty funny. But how did you get the inspiration for that design?
Yeah, I mean, everything, like, Cluey right now looks very similar to what Interview Coder looked like. And Interview Coder, I literally spent like 2 months, like, autistically trying to figure out what is the best overlay that I could do so that an interviewer is not going to know that I'm using AI. And it starts with dropping the opacity because, well, what Interview Coder does is it gives you like a code answer, and you want to like have that code right on top of your code editor so that you can write code and like see what the answer is side by side. So it needs to be translucent, because if it's opaque, then you can't fucking see what you're writing. You can't see the work that you're doing. But I mean, this concept applies one-to-one with like every other workflow. You don't want AI to completely cover up the thing that you're doing. You want it to integrate seamlessly, hence why it's translucent.
How did you build out the product on the technical side?
Yeah, we built Interview Coder knowing that there were other tools like Interview Coder. We just thought there were like some UX things that they got wrong, and obviously the marketing they got extremely wrong. It's a desktop app that has a React front end. The back end is just Cloudflare workers. It's just like serverless workers that are deployed on Edge. And right now our API, like, we're using ChatGPT, but eventually with all the information that we have, we're probably going to fine tune our own models. And for some of our enterprise clients, we're probably going to just host open source models for them to use. That's completely private. They own all the data and everything. The technology is like, for transcription, we use DeepGram, which as far as I understand is like state-of-the-art transcription. It's super fast for speech to text, and for seeing your screen, we've played around with a few things, and we think the most accurate thing is just taking a screenshot every time you prompt AI to do something. This captures like the 80-20 of use cases. Ultimately, the models will get to a point where you can just pass in, say, like a 30-minute screen recording, or even like a 2-hour-long screen recording, and it can just reason over everything and just give you exactly what information you need at the last second of the screen recording. But in reality, the models aren't there yet, so this is sort of the workaround. This is like the biggest technical challenge we solve is the context stitching. How can you get screen recording plus audio plus system prompt and stitch them all together to get like a fast and accurate response? That's our biggest technical challenge, but I mean that's how we're getting around it right now.
How do you think about security?
Security? I mean, of course, like the big bet, like the big question everybody's sitting on their ass, like looking for is like, hey, can Roy, with his crazy reputation, like get some people to start trusting him? If I can, then all of a sudden my marketing is like the most amazing thing in the world. And if I can't, then like, fuck, another viral stunt that just was like a relic of the past. So to that end, we take security pretty seriously. We're in observation for SOC 2, ISO, and we're hiring a bunch of people to do like strict audits, keep our data super secure. And I think as soon as the narrative changes once, then like we win.
Who exactly are your current customers? Like, who's using this?
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are using it for sales and call centers. I think this is the most interesting use case. And I think most obvious use case is like call centers. Like, there really is no tool that will just be able to understand the decision tree of all the objections that like a customer service rep might be asked and then just feed them the answer. And as it stands, like AI agents that are standalone, they can't do the entire work of a customer support rep. So you still need a human in the human in the flow, but human in the loop. But you also want the human to like have answers fed to it. And right now, there's just nothing that feeds an answer to a human without anybody else knowing, except us. And I think this is like the actual stickiest use case. There's a lot of people using it for curiosity in meetings, but it doesn't work super well until you personalize it, meaning like you give it context about who you are, what you do. There's like things that we're doing to try and get around this, but customer support, sales calls seems to be the stickiest use case.
And in terms of like the band of types of customers, I've heard you have some enterprise customers now. Is it mostly consumer? Like, what's the typical demographic?
Yeah, right now we make more money off enterprise than consumer, which is pretty crazy. But I think it's because we're still warming up the marketing for consumer.
And they're larger customers than consumers are.
Yeah. Like the contracts are like 7 figures.
Yeah, and I'm sure. Yeah. What is the pricing on the consumer side?
Consumer side, we do $20 a month subscription and $100 annual. And for enterprise, you got to talk to sales to figure it out.
Okay, yep. We'll talk to sales.
Yeah.
Given that, like, could you just break down the business model a little bit more? Like, what is it today and what do you think it's going to evolve to?
I think subscription-based model is like pretty obviously just where we're going to be. Maybe we'll have like a lifetime subscription. Maybe we'll A/B test price to see what's stickiest. But generally, this feels like the status quo for a useful, nifty tool like this is $20 a month, $100 a year. So we're probably just going to stick with this for a while. Yeah, I can't imagine that the pricing is going to change at all. Maybe turns out like we discover some new thing that's like 10 times as computationally inefficient. But even then, I don't actually think we'll change the model at all. We'll just like raise more money and just like be less profitable than we are now.
You guys are profitable.
Yeah, very much so.
You post this a lot.
Yeah.
You're very much so profitable.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does that mean? How did you get to profitability so fast?
I mean, we have like traditional SaaS margins. Like, when I started Interview Coder, it was like just me and Neil, and we didn't have any employees, and we didn't pay ourselves shit. So like the first dollar we made was $1 profit. Traditional SaaS market, like we have like fucking like what 1% of costs. Go to like the APIs that we use, and that's it. Like maybe some hosting, but it's an Electron app that runs locally, so it's not even like we pay for significant hosting fees there too. All we have to pay for is like the free backend cloud provider for our API and the actual APIs that we use. So it's like fucking like 3 cents per user. So since day one, we've been profitable, and the growth has just been so fast. Like Interview Coder, before we hired anyone, hit like 3 mil ARR, and then we started hiring people. So like, of course, like we have like fucking like $3 million. We can hire 10 engineers and we'll still be profitable. So like as it stands, we are unable to hire faster than we are making money, and we're paying a lot too.
How do you manage the burn and the scale?
I feel like burn doesn't fucking matter. Like if you just make more money, like the revenue timelines are so fucking crazy. If you are a founder and you spend 10 hours thinking about burn and like cutting costs, that's 10 hours you didn't spend about making product and like making product decisions and making your product better and like growing your company. Like right now, like we will literally spend like $50,000 a month on DoorDashing random food just so we like spend more time, like spend less time cooking because everyone is more efficient. We can like grow the product faster that way. Like I do not care about the money.
Well, Sourcery is sponsored by Brex, and someone that you're super fan of. I know Cluey is a big fan.
Of course.
You know, they're all about spending smarter and moving faster. Is that your playbook?
I don't think you have to spend smart. I think you like spend big, move big, make big moves. Like at every point, just be risky.
Are you saying that you are maximizing their rewards?
Of course, bro. I use Brex for everything. I use as much of their rewards as possible. Brex has been a lifesaver. There's no other company that would let us spend $50,000 a month on food.
I also saw that one of your employees just bought a $10,000 suit.
There's a lot of those specific numbers are fake, but yeah, we spent a lot of money on Brex.
Well, I wanted to gift you with something, and so we got you a gold card.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Is this for me?
Mm-hmm. Now you can spend all your money on that.
Are you serious? Yeah, well, they're mentioning that we're going to be on the gold card soon, but I still have the little black plastic. I'll show. This is the card that I still have that I spend probably close to $500,000.
Yeah, that's about like a series. That's a seed card.
Seed card. That's what I'm saying. they haven't realized we didn't get the upgrade yet. We will soon.
Sourcery is brought to you by Brex, the financial stack trusted by more than 30,000 companies, including 1 in 3 venture-backed startups in the US. Nearly 40% of startups fail because they run out of cash. Brex is literally built to help founders avoid that. Unlike traditional banks that let your money sit idle, chipping away at it with fees, Brex is designed to help you spend smarter and move faster. Their all-in-one solution combines checking, treasury, and FDIC protection into one powerful account. You can send and receive money globally at lightning speeds, get 20 times the standard FDIC coverage through their partner banks, and even high yield from day one. With same-day and even same-hour liquidity, access your funds anytime. Companies like Scale AI, DoorDash, ServiceTitan, Hims, Anthropic, Flexport, Robinhood, and Plaid trust and use Brex. Start today at brex.com/sorcery. That's BREX.com/sorcery. To switch to the hot topic that I'm sure lots of people really want to hear about, Roy.
Yep.
Please explain to me this stunt marketing scheme. How did you get this idea and what is the strategy?
Which stunt marketing? Just in general, all the things that I've been doing?
It started off with the viral launch video.
Yeah.
That went really well. Really good language. More recently, you had a stripper. How did you find this stripper? How did you get this video or this photo together?
I'll tell you some things.
Why did you go all the way to getting a stripper?
I think the first step of the pyramid is Twitter, or people on Twitter, are about 2 years behind when it comes to humor compared to people on Instagram, TikTok. And I think anything that I do on Twitter would not have gone viral on Instagram, TikTok, because they're not crazy enough. But for people on Twitter who are like behind, X, everything I do feels crazy. And I think there is a gigantic delta in this, where people on Instagram have realized you need to be extremely crazy, and as a result, what you see on the Instagram For You page is literally insane. But what you see on Twitter is not, on X is not crazy at all. There's a gigantic delta in this, and I think the first person that proved it is Avi Schiffman with his launchafriend.com. He showed us literally over a year ago, if you make a controversial cinematic demo video, you will get tens of millions of views. And for some reason, nobody fucking picked up on it, and until me. To loop back fully to your point and your question, virality is really important, but it means nothing if you can't do it consistently. But if you can do it consistently, then it's the most powerful thing in the world and it will make you untouchable. The trick here is to do it consistently. And the only way to be viral consistently is to be doing interesting things consistently. And I promise you, whether it's hiring 50 interns or doing crazy shit, I will continue to do interesting things. And I will be unique in this because I'm not just doing interesting things. I'm also building a tech company, and the intersection of people who are willing to do interesting things to go viral and are also building tech companies is pretty much one.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Yep.
I would say, one, the type of virality that YouTubers and social media people go after is less of an accountable risk, because they're kind of on their own, right? For you, you're the CEO of a company, you're venture backed by some really reputable names. There's a difference there. So do you not see any sort of risk with your investors and your professional reputation with doing these kinds of stunts?
I think we've seen for about the last 30 to 40 years, there's been a sharp drop off in professionalism in the workplace. You have engineers that walk around in like hoodies and sweatpants, and this is normal now. 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, this would not have been normal, and it would have been extremely frowned upon. If you're a professional, you wear a suit and tie. There's a growing decrease in professionalism, and that's because the rise of short form content has kind of desensitized everyone to the craziest things. Because you don't just watch TVs and commercials with like these polished or sorry, you don't watch TV anymore with polished commercials and super professional, like no real controversial commercial. Now you scroll on your timeline, and the timeline algorithm rewards the things that are most controversial. As a result, everyone has seen things that are extremely controversial and has become desensitized to it. This is why you see sports like fucking sperm racing come out. And sperm racing would never have been allowed to air on TV back in like 20 years ago. But now, of course it can. Of course you can. Everyone is aware that there's controversial things happening and it's okay. And I think we're going to see the same thing with professionalism. And let's just imagine a world where I do make it here. Like, what do you think will happen to the culture of startup professionalism and like brand risk and like all this shit? Like, I strongly think that it's just people are gonna realize like, oh, this shit doesn't matter. Everyone's cool with this now. And if I make it, then it will like be like the death of professionalism.
So there are two sides to your argument. There's one that would say you're a marketing genius, and there are people that are posting about it online. Like, you did it, you are very polarizing. You have camps that are like super supportive and some that are like, wow, this is really not, this is very distasteful. Yep. I don't want anything to do with it. This is a shame on the venture capital industry and everybody in technology. Because there are these two camps to this, where do you think the risk lies? Is there anyone that you're concerned about offending? Or do you think that the more virality, the more stunts you do, the more desensitized everyone becomes?
I have two responses to this. I think probably the most controversial person in the world might be Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is a founder that everybody looks up to. He has undeniably made it. And perhaps he's like big to the, and this ties into my second point. When you become big enough, you become untouchable, and the risk of controversy becomes zero, about as close to zero as it gets. And now Elon can pretty much say whatever the fuck he wants, do whatever the fuck he wants.
He's also the richest man on earth.
Exactly.
And has many multi-billion-dollar companies that shield him from that.
Once you make it, then you are shielded.
But he didn't make it by being controversial. He made it by working really hard.
I would push back that he didn't make it by being controversial. The person that he is right now is very likely similar to the person that he was when he was 20. And I guarantee you the bets he's making now that are controversial and people think are crazy are the exact same bets that he would have made 20 years ago. He just didn't market it so publicly. The difference is that I'm being extremely public about the marketing of it. And perhaps it'll burn me, perhaps it'll make me win, but I know that I would not be here right now if I wasn't public about being controversial. And I think this is the revenue numbers, the fundraising, everything that's happened so far is a place where 99% of founders don't ever see in their lives.
One of the biggest pushbacks, in addition to those, is they don't think that this is sustainable, that you're going to crash and burn. There's actually a Kalshi market out on it that will the CEO of Cluey leave the company this year, insinuating either, you crash and burn, you get fired, you get pushed out, or maybe you go to jail. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what the lines are with your stunts. So what do you think?
I mean, I think every single great person in the world has had a point in their lives where they faced extreme controversy. The richest people in the world with the most successful companies, you post a picture of them on Instagram and they just get dogged on by a million people saying, oh, this is an evil billionaire. This person is literally morally bankrupt. They say all these things. And when you fail, you become Sam Bankman-Fried. And when you win, you become Elon Musk, Sam Altman. And there's people who say Sam Altman is building like the fucking devil and accelerating the end of humanity as we know it. There's people who think he's like a saint. And it's like at the end of the line, the person with the most attention has 50% of people rooting against him and 50% of people rooting for him. And it's just you will be hated by people. And I'm just unfazed. The only thing that everyone needs to worry about is, can you hit escape velocity fast enough to become untouchable before you piss enough people off? And I think right now I'm accelerating my trajectory towards both escape velocity and towards pissing a bunch of people off. But who knows if I will get there.
What are your odds on leaving the company this year?
My odds on leaving the company? I mean, zero. We're literally profitable, and we spend as much money as we can. There's almost zero expense that goes unapproved by us, because we understand that you need to spend big and swing big to win big, and all of our marketing stunts, if it means we buy 10 fursuits and they're all $10,000 and we dress up everybody in the office as like a furry for a video, fuck it, we'll do it, bro. And yet we're still profitable because we make a bunch of money. So again, like we're accelerating both towards escape velocity and we're accelerating towards burning.
You guys are profitable?
Still profitable.
That's crazy. Who
I know,
would have known?
right? Still profitable.
More seriously, though, you have enterprise customers now.
Yes.
How does this lead into customer service with those enterprise customers? Have you been getting any pushback from them?
Almost none. The only reason I have the contracts that I do right now is because the decision makers at these enterprise companies have seen my Twitter and think I'm funny and are rooting for me. And they're part of the 50% of people that are rooting for me. And I would never have had these contracts if I was just some lame posting about this random HUD translucent liquid glass screen overlay. Like if that's all Cluey was, just like, oh, AI sales calls, like I would have not had any of these contracts. But I have these contracts because I'm willing to take the risk, be polarizing, and some people support me.
Your company account tweeted yesterday. You tweeted 20 million UGC views in 2 weeks. X and LinkedIn is not our target audience. And if you're fuming at our messaging, you will soon find yourself on the wrong side of history. Victory is inevitable when you understand how to capture attention consistently.
That's deep.
You guys are good with words. But beyond X, where are you also capturing this attention? What's the strategy?
X and LinkedIn are extremely small, and especially tech Twitter, it's super small. What I've learned is if you have a post, if you're in tech Twitter and you have a post that does over, say, 40,000 impressions, you've hit pretty much every relevant decision maker in tech. It's an extremely, extremely small world. And realistically, if I go outside San Francisco, I walk around for 10 hours with a giant shirt that says Cluey guy, nobody's gonna recognize me. Maybe like a handful of people will recognize me. Because this world, it's super niche, and what feels like, man, Cluey's been on my timeline for the past 2 months, like it's all I can hear about. In reality, you walk outside, nobody's fucking heard of this. Because regular people are not on Twitter, LinkedIn, or X LinkedIn. Regular people are on like Instagram, TikTok. Many more people are on Instagram, TikTok than on X LinkedIn. And every single big company is known by regular people. And I think the two ways that you achieve like full consumer mindshare is you can either get the mindshare first, or you can have your product funnel you into mindshare. I think we don't have the time to let our product grow that fast, that big, that fast. But we do have the time to go hyper viral on IG, TikTok. I'm not sure that I'm framing this right, but I guess to put it in like an analogous way to building companies, the TAM of IG, TikTok is way bigger, and even if I've captured the TAM of X, it's not big enough for the company to hit escape velocity. We don't just need to be the biggest thing on tech Twitter. We need to be the biggest thing on IG, TikTok, and that takes a lot.
In the tweet, Katie Sue from your team, she broke down how you guys achieve 1 million views per day.
Yeah.
And this bleeds down into hiring in 10 creators in-house.
Yep.
How did you get that idea?
I mean, this is the playbook that every consumer app uses.
Do you think marketing teams are going to have to all shift to this now? Is growth now in the hands of the creator?
Of course. I mean, marketing teams can try, but I think the reason why Kalshi founder is like fucking 18, Quitter founder is like 19, the reason why all these big consumer app guys are so young is because you need to be tapped in with young culture to understand what's funny. And you can have like a 35-year-old marketer who's like scrolls as much as they want. For some reason, they just won't have the viral sense to come up with hooks that are capable of generating 10 million views. And if you don't have a guy who's capable of generating these crazy hooks or capable of identifying who has algo pull right now, then like you can't do this. This process is the one thing that you need for this process, which in reality is quite easy, is viral sense. And viral sense is something that is extremely scarce.
How big is your team to date without the interns?
11 full-time.
11 full-time?
Yep.
And you guys all live in a house together?
Most of us live in the house, but
Okay.
some of us live in an apartment that's a block away.
How'd you think of the whole house idea? I know hacker houses have been a mainstay in San Francisco for a while, but you got a very nice one.
Yeah.
You got a very big one.
Yeah. I think you need to work where you live. If you're serious about building the company, like work-life balance should not be a thing that you think about. Your work should be your life and vice versa. And if that's the case, then the best way to to realize this is by literally living where you work. You wake up, you go straight to work, you go to bed on the couch, essentially. And that's sort of the culture that we're trying to promote here. There is no work-life balance. Your entire life is Cluey, and your entire work is Cluey.
Okay. What's the team composition?
4 Eng, 7 growth.
Okay.
And then we only hire one of 2 types of people. You're either an engineer or like a world-class engineer, or you're an influencer, and also like a world-class influencer with like high algo pull. There's nobody who's not a great engineer who has less than 100,000 followers.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you find everyone? What's your recruiting process? How do you filter them out?
I think
that's a very dense
yeah
team.
I think I have viral sense. I scroll quite a bit, and I understand what's trending in culture right now. As a result, like when I suddenly got this injection of money, like I knew immediately, here's like the top 10 people I want to hire, and now fucking like 7 of them are living with me in the house. When you scroll enough, you just know, like the same people tend to pop up. Recently, you see the same series, you know exactly which series are hot right now, and you know which creators are hot. And it's not celebrities anymore. It's not people with 10 million followers anymore. It's literally like the college kid with 100,000 followers, or maybe even like 10,000 followers sometimes. And those are the people that we've recruited.
Talking about the culture within the house, are you at all concerned with all these stunts, the stunt marketing, that it's going to leave the wrong impression on your employees, or something might go too far and you won't be able to manage it, or you're going to bring in a lot of really bad talent who just thinks that you're crazy and you're not serious? How do you manage that?
A lot of people think, because of my ex, that I'm the guy that comes up with all the crazy stunts. But in reality, almost every single day we have a brainstorming session about what is the craziest thing we can do in the near future that will capture attention again. And if you think what we've done to date is crazy, then you're going to shit your pants when you see what happens for like the next month or 2 months. We have a storyboard of content that is like genuinely insane and has never ever been attempted before in the realm of Twitter. And I think I don't have to worry about the employees, because the employees are the ones coming up with these ideas. Everyone is on board with the craziness, and we understand that this is like the lifeline of the company. We are either crazy enough to make it, or we're crazy enough to die. Or too crazy and we die.
What would you want someone to know if they were coming to work at Cluey?
What would I want a future employee to know? I think perhaps the one pinnacle of the company is that there are only 2 roles here. You're either building the product or you're making the product go viral. And if you're not excellent at one of 2 things, then you're probably not going to get hired. And if you are excellent at 1 or 2 of the things, then you are likely crazy enough to be fully on board with what we're doing. And if you're not, then you wouldn't have applied in the first place. So there's no reason for you to be here. A world-class engineer only applies for a company like Cluey because they're attracted by the culture. And if you're attracted by the culture, then why would you ever try and stop the culture from promulgating? And if you are an influencer, then just by nature of influencers, you will understand what it takes to be viral. You will understand that it's cool what we're doing, and you will contribute, or you'll quit because you don't think the culture is right.
What do you think is your grand vision for Cluey?
I think it's inevitable that in about 2 or 3 years we will have models that are multimodal, large context windows, are capable of reasoning over, say, 3 hours of a screen recording. In that world, all of a sudden, the second that release comes out, the second that API comes out, all of a sudden there's every technologist in the world has the capability to build essentially Jarvis. But in that world, who wins? Who is actually the one that becomes the main distributor of Jarvis? And in my opinion, it's whoever has the same thing that Google had when they put out Gmail and killed Yahoo Mail. Same thing that Google had when they put out search and they beat Bing. It's not a fundamentally better product. It's capturing of mindshare. And I think mindshare is something that is probably the most important lever of consumer, or just lever of technology distribution in general. And what people often mistake this for virality. They think, oh, virality is not sustainable. But what is sustainable is mindshare. And the difference is this. You can have a product that gets 1 billion monthly views for, say, UGC content every single month, and nobody will ever sit down at a lunch table and start talking about your product, because they might see it brain rotting, or they might have heard about it, but they don't actually care. And to make people care, you need to do something polarizing, something crazy like our launch video. And I think the only way to capture mindshare is to know that in this world, there's millions of people who go to lunch every day and talk about you. And truly, the only way to do this is to be controversial and viral and do it consistently. And if you can do this, then you will get the same, like, there's a reason why people use Discord all the time. They don't use any other social app. They use, like, it's cool. And you don't become cool by just getting views. You become cool by being the talking point of every lunch table. You get there by doing pretty much exactly what I'm doing. It's how Mr. Beast got there. It's how the Paul brothers got there. It's how Charlie D'Amelio got there. Like, everybody gets there by doing some crazy shit and getting talked about over and over and over again.
Are there actually 50 interns there?
50 interns never meant 50 interns. Well, not 50 actual in-person interns the same way that you think about them today, but it means like 5 interns and like, say, 45 UGC creators. We're actually planning on scaling this to way more, but like, this is what a modern day internship looks like. And this is probably what like labor in general looks like in a future of AI. I mean, UGC creator, you sit down on a phone and you make TikToks about a product. This is like a concept that is a job that did not exist even 20 years ago. So it feels sort of absurd to call it an internship. In reality, it is an internship. Like, you're here doing part-time work at a job that may convert to full-time in the future, and you're providing value to the company. Like, this is by all means a growth internship. So we have a bunch of interns, and right now, like, yeah, we're like closing in on 50 if you count all the UGC creators.
How do you manage that internally? Like, are you guys going to create your own platform for managing, like, views, analytics? What metrics do you measure? How do you think about that against the virality, against the growth hacking? I mean, this is like a critical component to the business. So how do you manage it?
Yeah, I mean, we have like what is shaping up to be our own internal CRM for managing all this stuff. And probably this will be like the first of its kind, like a CRM exclusively for managing creators. But it's in-house right now. There's not too much overhead because in reality, you don't have to manage the people. You have to manage the content that they produce. And you get paid for the content that you make. So like if you're lazy, then you just don't get paid, and that's it. There's not significant operational overhead, and we have the systems in place for this to scale to like 2,000 creators. So I'm pretty confident about this. Not sure. I think I might have.
Yeah, but how do you? Okay, so how do you manage that system? Like, how do you manage the views of all that? Like, how do you determine they're real, they're fake, are they botted, are they not? Like, if you scale to 2,000 creators,
yeah.
Like, I'm in Discord channels, I'm in WAP, like, I'm doing content rewards. Like, you can, like, scaling for quality is really hard. And something that, I don't know, like, not every view is worth it. So I'm just really trying to deeply understand, how do you scale up quality views?
Yeah, I think there's 2 main types of content that we put out. One is like converting content. You have a hook where you actually like you visually show the product and you explain one of the use cases of the product, and you just expect it to convert and be profitable. And you have ones that are intended to capture hive mind. And again, this is we don't care about the profitability of this at all. We just want people to consistently see Cluey and like hear about Cluey. Like, man, like another fucking Cluey like video on my timeline. I cannot get this off my feed. This is crazy. Even if they're never going to go to Cluey.com, just implants it deep in their mind. And I think tracking conversions on views and all this shit, it's like the most stupid thing you can do. Because in reality, there is no dollar amount of one view. You can't really calculate what the dollar amount of my launch video was, because this was like a culturally significant moment in tech. This is something that everyone was talking about, and as a result, like there's people going around in the biggest rooms talking about like the Cluey launch video. How do you calculate, like, how do you put a monetary value on that? Is it like the conversion? Like, I don't give a fuck about the conversion. Like, we made a cultural moment. And I think tracking that stuff is like pretty meaningless. Eventually, suppose you could scale up to, say, 100 billion views a month. That's pretty extreme. But if you could do that, then like, bro, like, fuck, I will pay any fucking, how much money do you think Google would pay to get $100 billion of views a month consistently? Like, bro, a lot of fucking money.
How much money have you spent on views?
Less, maybe like 20,000.
20,000? How much did you spend on the viral video?
Which viral video?
The Cluey launch video.
Cluey launch video was 140,000.
Okay.
Yeah. It was before the raise too, so at the time it was like our entire life savings.
Do you have a budget for all of this? Like, how do you manage?
The budget is essentially all of our investor money. Okay. Probably like 80% of it. And it's just, you just can't track these things. I don't think you should be tracking these things. And it's pretty obvious if you have like a very visual product demo, it will convert. And all you have to worry about is if you watch the video, do you think this is highly converting? Does it actually show a demonstrable use case, visual of the product, and is it actually something that would make someone with a need buy your product? If yes, then fuck off the conversions. Like, don't track the analytics because the analytics means nothing.
Love premium merch just as much as we do. That's why Sourcery uses Fourth Wall. Everyone from creators like Marques Brownlee to podcasts like Acquired to orgs like the Smithsonian Institute are using Fourth Wall. They let you create and sell premium products without having to stress the details. They handle everything from production, shipping, customer support, taxes, even giveaways. When it's time to level up and make gear that people are actually proud to wear, that's when it's time to use Fourth Wall. And that's why we've trusted Fourth Wall for all of our brand wear at Sourcery since day one. Use my link in the description to get free credits for your first order. And for any VCs, DM me on X, and I can get all your portfolio companies set up with a free samples credit deal. Are you going to use any of these AI generated videos? Like VO just came out, Kalshi just made an amazing viral video on this. And I'm not just saying that because I work with Kalshi and their sponsors. Yeah. But Kalshi just made like an incredibly, very tasteful AI generated video with another creator, and it went so well. Are you thinking about using any of those?
It's possible. There's like literally a million viral formats out there. Right now, we're sticking with what we know works and what we as influencers know. And like a lot of these are just like talking head videos from real people. I think the most important thing with a video going viral is like, do people think that it's real? And if there's even like a slight hesitation, like, oh, this might not be real, this feels AI, then there's formats that kills. Like there's formats that kills in, but there's also formats that are just like impossible if the average viewer looks at it and thinks, it doesn't look real to me. And those are generally the formats that we try to use. So I don't think we've completely crossed the uncanny valley with VO3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want to get into some more personal stuff, okay, Roy. I can't imagine that this whole process has been up and to the right for you. I'm sure that there have been challenges and there will be challenges, and you're probably facing many when you pull these things. But like, how do you manage that, and what kinds of challenges have you faced so far as founder and CEO of the company?
I think obviously the PR crises are the biggest thing we have to manage. But there's a very clear North Star here, and it's I want to be conqueror of the fucking universe. And I think anybody who wants this does not have the time to sit in their room, shit in their pants, worrying about the people that they might have pissed off. The only thing I can do is what I do best right now. And clearly this is capturing people's attention and building this specific product. I think these are, like, I spike in one thing very obviously and clearly. If my goal is to make as big a swing as possible, then I need to capitalize on the things that I'm great at. And if it turns out, and I think like so far I've been rewarded immensely for capitalizing on this one particular skill that I have. And in the future, perhaps I will be burned by it, but perhaps I will be rewarded 1,000,000 times more immensely. And I think obviously like the PR crises, like when you swing this big, it is inevitable that sometimes you'll miss. And when you do miss, like it's pretty bad because you swing really big and you missed. When you make these huge bets on virality and you try and go super viral every time, it is inevitable that sometimes you'll win, but sometimes you will lose. And the times where you lose, I think I'm faced with a situation that almost nobody faces in their lives ever. And it's hard. There's like no one I can turn to for advice. Who's the person I asked for, hey, I just got kicked out of Columbia for building a cheating tool and going viral. I'm blacklisted from every big tech company now. What should I do? Who can I ask for advice on that? There's almost no one. And it's times like this where I have to sit in a room and just like reflect with solely myself. And I think just being alone and thinking about like, man, maybe I really fucked it up this time. Those are definitely the hardest times. And I think this is like a challenge that even like among tech founders, almost nobody experiences. The things that help me are, there might not be people that I can go to directly for advice, but there's people that I know will always be on my side. And like my parents or my best friends, my co-founders. And I think it's very important to draw a distinction between my real life and who I am online. Who I am online is like the craziest person ever. I'm optimizing for one thing, and that's eyeballs on Cluey. But the life that I live in the real world, the people that I'm around that love me unconditionally and I love them unconditionally back, I know this will never change. And it's, I anchor myself to them.
So what are you looking to improve upon as a CEO?
I think I've been like thrust into a position of leadership and management over a lot of people. And it's pretty crazy. Like, this is such a stark difference from me just like hacking in a dorm room with Neil. Like, I don't really get to make the same engineering mistakes and just be like, oh, fuck it. Like, sorry, I'll send a sorry email to our 20 users and just redo the entire DB. I don't really get that anymore. Now I sort of have to be stricter with people. And like that's sort of like the framework that we've always operated in. And I'm sort of the one that has to step up now and be like, hey, we got to be more serious. And it's hard for people to take that seriously when it's coming from me. I think this is probably the thing. Even at work, I'm like, I try to inspire people to think creatively about swinging big, taking huge risks. But I'm also the guy that has to step in when things get bad and like, hey, this is a shitty migration. We can't do this again. And I think it's been hard to distinguish that with the employees, and like sometimes be in like serious CEO Roy mode, and most of the time being like, let's all think about crazy shit we can do.
Is there anyone you particularly admire or look up to?
Yeah, Elon Musk. I think this is like the one guy who he gets it so right. He was the most controversial, hated, might have been at one point the most hated person on the internet, and he just fought through it. And this guy's like like literally the richest man in the world. There is nobody that's ever been like Elon or done what he's done. And I think if there ever was a role model for my sort of controversial polarizingness, hitting escape velocity and just being able to like go to I do whatever the fuck I want zone, it's Elon.
Go to Mars.
Go to Mars. Exactly, bro. Exactly.
Okay, well, as we wrap up, I like to close out on a really fun predictions segment.
Okay.
So we're going to use Kalshi, and we're going to go through a couple. I know we already went through one of whether or not you're going to leave the company.
Yeah.
So the market's out for that. But on the topic of Elon, do you think Elon will create a new political party this year?
I hope so. I am very anti-politics. I try to be as apolitical as possible. I have almost no political takes. But the one thing that I love about politics is that it's very, very ruckus. There's always some shit going on that riles people up, and I think it's entertaining to watch. And I would love to see Elon start a new political party. As he tweeted, the most like entertaining outcome is the most obvious, and I think if there's ever a person in the world who has the ability and willingness to do some crazy shit like this, it'd be Elon. I'm all for it. I'm like, I would full port that.
What do you think that political party would be?
Probably like the fucking technology party, AI party. I don't know, American party. Yeah, the American party probably is what people are saying, right?
Okay.
Yeah, the party that represents the 80% of people in the middle.
If Cluey disrupts the labor force as much as you think it might, jobs might be lost.
Okay.
What do you think the unemployment rate will be in 2030?
Probably like fucking 4%. Like things will revert back to the mean. Like humans will always find new jobs except for the 4% of people that just don't want to work.
Okay. Well, we don't know. We don't know if you're right or you're wrong.
I know.
The market right now says 8.7. That's the
market
forecast.
is wrong. Cluey told me this. The market is wrong. We could expect 4.
All right. Lastly, you seem like you know a lot of stuff. You're online all the time.
All the time, yeah.
All the time. Do you think a major meteor will hit the Earth by 2030?
Bro, absolutely not, bro. Like, I feel like this is such a stupid thing to bet on, because if you're right, what the fuck do you win? And if you're wrong, like you have nothing left to gain but to win. I think it is stupid to think about like the worst case scenario. I'm like an extreme optimist. I genuinely think super intelligence will do almost no harm. Whatever harm it will do, it will like self-restore. I think all the people worried about like AGI safety, all that bullshit, this is like, bro, like I'm an extreme optimist. I think AI will cause us all to live to 500 years plus, will cure cancer and Alzheimer's, and literally in probably like 50 years, I'm going to be on Earth 3 in universe like B47 thanks to AI.
And Elon Musk.
And Elon Musk, exactly, bro. I'm an extreme techno-optimist. I think meteor strike is just, it's the most negative thing to think about. If I could bet on, like, if I will full port no.
Okay. All right. Well, there's a 65% chance.
Oh, yes?
Yeah.
Are you serious? I think that's ridiculous.
Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Okay, Roy, well, this was certainly an interesting conversation. I don't think I've been called bro more than my life. But thank you so much for coming on and sharing more about Cluey and your crazy stunts and all the things you're doing.
You're welcome, bro.